Nigeria is in big trouble, big trouble. I know Nigerian football fans, I should be saying Happy Independence Day, forgive me, but Nigeria is in absolutely big trouble. Nigerian football is in big trouble. Yesterday, the under-17 side lost 2-0 to Ghana, which means the country will be missing yet another AFCON, under-17 AFCON back-to-back, be missing out on another World Cup, because usually to qualify for the World Cup, you have to finish in the top 4 of the AFCON, that is semi-final places. So that means not going to the AFCON means you're not going to go to the World Cup. So that's that, done. Back to back, no World Cup berths, no AFCON berths for the under-17 side. Then you go on to the under-20 side. You see how the selection has turned out. Lost to Norway. I have my own reasons why I felt Nigeria shouldn't have lost to Norway. I have my own reasons why Nigeria lost to Norway. They played well in sports in that game. I had my issues about the referee as well, but overall lost that game. You could see the team that was lacking in several areas. Attacking midfield, there was an issue. Look at the Super Eagles, how the team is struggling, to qualify for a World Cup, and an expanded World Cup from the two team tournament to now is a 48 team tournament, 48 country tournament. Yet the country is struggling to qualify for these tournaments. Nigerian football is in absolute chaos right now. The World Cup, you're not quite sure if you're indeed going to qualify. And for 2030, you're not even sure what the plan is. Now, looking at the under-17 side, why it is even more tragic is this. Outside of tournaments, the Nigerian Football Federation, the National Sports Commission don't have any plans for these players. They don't have any plans, right? So it's once it gets to the AFCON, under-17 AFCON, under-20 AFCON, they set up a camp, 2 weeks, 3 weeks camp, and then you have players sometimes all over the world coming in. Sometimes you have just home-based players that come through the camp, and then however they select players. So, and that's it. And then they go to the tournament. If they play well, they win. If it's the AFCON, they progress to the age grade World Cup for that. The age grade World Cup for that age, and then moving on that way. So in any year they don't qualify for a World Cup or they don't qualify for the AFCON, there is no competition for these players. So you have a set of players that will miss out on any sort of developmental football at the highest level, for 2 years. I think the under-17 World Cup and under-20 World Cup is every 2 years. So they'll miss out on 2 years. And then the next set of under-17s will then have to be looking at, the final in 2 years from now. So it's absolutely chaos. There's no friendly matches prepared. Then it's just madness the way Nigerian football is run. It is absolute madness. Look at have a look at the senior team itself, right? You see players who are performing at top levels, performing for clubs. Rather than invite those players, find some reasoning, find some crazy excuses as to why they're not inviting the players. Come up with some weird take like, it doesn't matter how well you're playing for your club, playing for your country is a different kettle of fish, and things like that. And you have people who back them up. You have journalists who back them up that they have in their pockets, that they keep there to spin the yarn, to continue, sending out crazy messages that people sort of gobble up. It is just crazy to me. So feel so sorry for this under-17 player. Feel so sorry for this under-17 team, because that is done. Same thing for the under-20. If they win this under-20 World Cup, good, then maybe they get signed by clubs and just like that, but nothing to develop them. There's no even sure way to integrate them into the Super Eagles itself. If they lose, even worse, as you can imagine, because that's it, you're done, gone off from group stage, that's it. And you're left that way. You don't see, how many times have you seen Nigerian Flying Eagles play friendly matches? I'm not talking about closed door, 2 days to the tournament, you play the host nation, you play one other country, and that's it. When have you seen them consistently play friendly matches, have a program, say, okay, that matches up with the Flying Eagles, right? So let's say we have Flying Eagles that'll be playing in November against Venezuela and one other team I can't quite remember, but you have you have that team match up with the under 17s, match up with the under 20s. You don't have that because these things don't have any sort of planning to it. Even look at the friendlies. Why should you be going to play Venezuela when you should be preparing for an AFCON? When you should be looking to play African countries? When you should be looking to play Northern African country, for instance, maybe you play Morocco or an Egypt to sort of mirror what you get with Tunisia. Maybe you play Uganda, those kind of things. Play friendly matches for countries that would help you prepare for the tournament you're going into. I know people might say, "Oh, we have faith. Maybe we go to the World Cup." But even at that, even if you qualify for the World Cup, right? The World Cup would still be June-ish next year, right? And you're having to play this AFCON in December. So any friendly match you're playing in and around November, thereabouts, should be preparing you for the AFCON. This just shows you how disorganized these NFFs, these National Sports Commission, how they both are. Nigerian football is in absolute turmoil, in my opinion, because, for instance, I know you will agree with me, when the draw for the World Cup was announced, when you saw the grouping, you saw South Africa, you saw Lesotho, you saw Zimbabwe, you saw Benin Republic, I'm sure you must have been saying to yourself, come on, this group, we're going to walk it. We are absolutely going to walk this group. And now you're busy waiting for point deduction. Fair play. Happy days, the points have been deducted of South Africa. They're still points ahead of Nigeria. So how do you get, now you're having to not only win, you're having to win and then hope and pray and maybe, wish on a star that somehow, some way, South Africa loses a game, because that's the only way you qualify. Either South Africa draws 2 games in Zimbabwe, in the game versus Zimbabwe and then Rwanda, or they lose at least 1. Otherwise, you have no chance. And even in that regard, even if that happens, you still have the Nigerian Super Eagles, you still have to go out there and win those 2 games. Because if South Africa loses both games, they're still on 14 points, you're on 11 points. 2 draws will do you no favors, because that will end up being 12, 13 points, and you still be short of them. So you don't only have to win, you also have to hope and pray and wish that South Africa drops points in their own games, and not just any point, not just 1 draw and a win. You're looking for 2 draws or at least a loss and a win, or else you're not going anywhere, right? So absolute chaos. And the annoying part of this is people keep saying lessons will be learned. No lessons will be learned. That is the major tragedy in all of this. Because we've had Manu Gaba, he's been the under-17 coach for how many years right now? Missed out on the first under-17 AFCON, missed out on that World Cup, and now he's still there. He should have been sacked. The moment you miss out on qualification for the AFCON, you should have lost the job. You should have been gone. But no, he still stayed in there, right? Then he's coming again. He's missed out on qualification for AFCON, missed out on qualification for, and therefore missed out on qualification for the Under-17 World Cup as well. And there's no talk of him losing his job. There's no plan as to, let's see who we're going to get in to change things. So football is in chaos, because even look at integration. People keep talking about, oh, let's use grassroots players, grassroots talents. I agree. Nigeria produces talent like with the best of them in the world in terms of raw talent. But where is that integration? You see Beyond Limits, you see Valiant FC, you see Atlantic Business, you see Sporting Lagos FA, you see all these clubs. So what is the way to integrate these players into the under-17 setup? There is none. What is even the way to integrate dual nationals into this? There is none. And people have been coming up with this weird take. This absolute bonkers, absolute crazy take. It's so annoying, it's so stupid, it's so ignorant. People coming with this and say, oh, dual nationals are the ones who have the issue, that are the ones with the problem. It's because of dual nationals, we can't qualify for a World Cup because they don't have passion. Are you okay? If you have that opinion, I don't think you're quite sound, right? I don't think you're sound, with all due respect, right? Because you should be focused on how to get the best available talent, whether it's one straight off Nigerian grassroots or dual nationals from, maybe England, Spain, wherever, people who are eligible to play for Nigeria, that have the quality, that have the ability to play. Because looking at this under 20 team, even look at it, you have no dual national in that team, right? Yet lost to a Norway side that I don't think is that good. So what would you attribute it to? You look at the team, you look at the midfield, lack of creativity. How did that happen? Because the NFF, Nigerian Sports Commission, don't really look at players who are talented enough, right? They like to maybe pick a couple of players that are good, like your Eric Parabos and your Daniel Dagas, pick a couple, and then litter the team with people they like for whatever reason. You know what I mean? So this is absolute crazy. Nigerian football is in utter shambles right now, because how can, at this point in the qualification cycle for the World Cup, the senior national team is not quite sure of heading anywhere, and then you're talking about the under-17 side, and they're going to miss out on a World Cup and an AFCON, this back-to-back cycles, and then you're going on to talk about the under-20s lost their first game in a World Cup against a team they should be beating anyways. This team is in utter trouble. Nigerian football right now is in trouble, and like I said, the main tragedy, the tragedy there is no learning, no adaptation, no, okay, oh, we're feeling so bad, oh, we lost this, let's change things. We've lost this game, oh, let's, do this, let's have a new manager, let's have a new tactics, let's start a new program. Where's the academy league for the MPFL? Where is it? Where? Look at the state of the MPFL. So all round Nigerian football is in pure utter shambles. I'm sorry, this sounds dire and it's very long, but that is the truth of the matter. That is the truth of how things are right now in Nigeria. Will it change? I wish and I hope it changes as Nigeria celebrates Independence Day anniversary today. But we all know the likes of Gusau are just chilling. No one's going to shake them. No one's going to take them off. FIFA and Infantino, they found ways to protect their cronies who are, FA chairmen or FA administrators. They can't be really touched. They can't be really removed. And the leadership of Nigeria are really interested in NFF chairmen, what they do. So let me know your opinions in the comment section, and I'll see you in another video. Stay well, stay blessed. Bye-bye.